Leading off for the Wildcats, Schellmeyer. Skylar Schellmeyer in the box right now. It's an overcast day here at Andy Moore Field as the first pitch is a called strike in the circle. Good start for Natalie Ford. Overcast skies here at Andy Moore Field, and the wind is blowing south-southwest, around 17 miles an hour. That translates here at Andy Moore to about blowing out to center or from left to right. Second pitch to Schellmeyer comes in just outside the zone for a ball. Schellmeyer, a lefty slapper for the Wildcats. Swings at that one and can't quite get it. A nice first at-bat so far for Natalie Ford in the circle.
Definitely, and Schellmeyer's been a great leadoff hitter for Northwestern this season. She started all 40 games, and she's currently hitting .347, as you just saw on the screen.
Back into her stance, and Ford delivers. That one just away from Schellmeyer once again. Defensively for the Indiana Hoosiers at first, Brianna Copeland. At second, Juvia Davis. Third, Grayson Radcliffe. Short, Brooke Benson. Then left to right in the outfield, Taylor Minnick. As this one slapped to third, the play over to first. Plenty of time, one down in the top of the first. Finishing off in the outfield, it is in left, Taylor Minnick. And then in center field, Kinsey Mitchell. And in right, this is where the switch up is coming here. Cora Bassett this weekend making her first few appearances in the outfield all year. She's been in there at second. Coach Stanton saying she wanted a bit more veteran presence. As that one comes in for a strike on Rachel Lewis. Wanted a more veteran presence, kind of leading that middle gap. And so that's where Juvia Davis slots in. An 0-1 count to Rachel Lewis with one down here in the top of the first. Next pitch just high and outside the zone. Nice crowd here at Andy Moore. Most of the red seats are filled. And taking a look at Rachel Lewis, tied for the Big Ten lead in home run. She hits this one hard down the first base line. That one will drop fair. Cora Bassett giving chase, trying to find the ball. Lewis will hold at second. And Lewis keeps things going there for Northwestern.
She was able to take that one right down the line, and it landed just fair. We saw Bassett in right. The ball bounced away from her a little bit and ended up going down the line, and it looked like the third base coach was trying to wave her to third there, but she rounded second and looked back for the ball and was content with a double right there.
Yep, so with one down for the senior pitcher in the circle, Natalie Ford, the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position. Called strike behind the plate for our home plate umpire, Brian Smith. Rounding out the crew at first, Elizabeth Hammerschmidt, and at third, Anthony Williams. 0-1 count to Jordan Rudd, the senior catcher for Northwestern.
And Max, really, when Rachel Lewis is hitting this year, as long as you can keep the ball inside the park, you'll take that against her.
Lewis, 18 stolen bases on the year, something to watch. Rudd checks the swing, and Rudd went, says the third base umpire, Anthony Williams. So a 1-2 count for Jordan Rudd. Just kind of finishing that thought. Always a nice battle when you have good base running, but also Lindsay Warwick behind the plate who can gun down anyone from anywhere. 1-2 count to Jordan Rudd on the way over the plate for a strikeout. Strikeout number one of the day for Natalie Ford, so two down now. But still on the bases with Lewis threatening. I just gave a little twitch there, Garrett, and didn't quite go. Nice location so far from Natalie Ford.
She's looked solid, and this is going to be a good at-bat right here to try to get settled in and end this first frame.
Called strike there to Maeve Nelson, senior shortstop. Nelson has started every game since joining the Cats. Hits this one down the first base line, and that will drift foul and towards the Indiana softball facility, just to the right of Andy Moore Field. Warm-up stance for Maeve Nelson outside the box. And then she tiptoes back in. The 0-2 falls down in the dirt here. 1-2 count to Maeve Nelson. And this would be a great kind of jump start to momentum if the Hoosiers can get out of this with and hold the runner in scoring position. Rachel Lewis at second. And in the box, Maeve Nelson. The 1-2 on the way, just outside and away. Evening up the count at 2-2.
For trying to get Nelson to chase on those last two pitches, when you're ahead 0-2, you can afford to mess around and throw some pitches outside the strike zone, but now she's got to lock in.
The 2-2. This one hit hard, straight to short. Benson makes the grab, and the toss over to first. Plenty of time once again. The Hoosiers strand one in the top of the first. When we come back, we'll take a look at Danielle Williams in the circle for Northwestern. We'll be back in a moment here on Big Ten Plus. The Hoosiers strand one in the top of the first. Now we head to the bottom of the first inning and take a look at Danielle Williams. Our first look at her today. We've gotten a few looks at her so far this weekend. Williams on Friday went the distance in an 8-1 victory. Had a really nice line, just 4 hits allowed in 7 innings. 1 run, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts. All set to face off against the leadoff hitter for Indiana, Cora Bassett. Bassett, big swing at that one. Got through though.
Williams' stats are just absolutely mind-boggling looking down at him. She has 239 strikeouts in 158 innings.
Equally impressive, though, are Cora Bassett's numbers, but Williams, again, gets by her there. This is going to be a really great battle to watch today. On Friday, Williams did a fantastic job against Bassett. 4 at-bats, just 1 hit for Cora, 2 strikeouts. Let's see how it unfolds today. The 0-2 to Bassett is down low. 1-2 now. Bassett on the year, .432. Batting average. Batting leadoff all the way up at 600 with a slugging percentage of .880. The 1-2, Bassett waits on, down low and away, evening up the count at 2-2, and then also a .520 on-base percentage. A great way to start off the lineup for Indiana. But again, Indiana's going to have a challenge all day against Danielle Williams. The 2-2 on the way to Bassett. Swung on, and that'll get down the middle. A leadoff single for the Indiana Hoosiers.
And prior to that at bat, Max, Bassett was hitting .500 during Big Ten play, so now she goes above the .500 mark in conference.
She is up top of those charts in the Big Ten in batting average and so many other categories, as we've talked about many times throughout the year. That one just got solid contact and up the middle. That'll bring up the senior third baseman for Indiana, Grayson Radcliffe. First pitch just away from Radcliffe and off the plate. Again, Northwestern doing a nice job so far this weekend, as Abby talked about. Taking 2 games so far, going for the sweep. The 1-0, swung on and fouled down the third base line. Coach Stanton down there at third. The head coach for Indiana earlier this season in non-conference play got her 700th win of her career. 2 fantastic coaches for both of these programs. Kate Drohan is getting close. She's at 691 wins now. She's getting up there as well. The 1-1 to Radcliffe. Just outside again, can't quite catch the plate. 2-1 count for Grayson Radcliffe.
Couple of good at-bats to start the game for the Hoosiers, working the count deep as Radcliffe is sitting at 2-1 right now.
This one fouled down the third base line and out of play once again. That one drops behind the Northwestern bullpen. The bullpen's down at the end of both dugouts for both teams. Really like these uniforms for Northwestern today, the all blacks. Meanwhile, the Hoosiers in their white tops with the script Indiana across the chest. This one an off speed. Cora Bassett's running and she is caught at second. A throw out from behind the plate. Rudd catches Cora Bassett on the base path.
Check swing was unable to hold up, and then Indiana gets hit with the classic strike them out, throw them out, double play. And just like that, their momentum is gone.
And that's what good teams like Northwestern are able to do so often. Taylor Minnick gets a nice piece of this one, but straight into the glove in right to Lewis. That will end the bottom of the first. We'll be right. Meanwhile, Natalie Ford continuing work in the circle, again in her first start of the season. More on her in just a little bit. Nikki Cochran in the box. Fouls this one off to the left side. 0-2 hole for Nikki Cochran.
Natalie Ford's looked pretty solid so far. She's been picking her spots well and avoiding the danger zones of the strike zone.
The 0-2, a bouncer to short, throw over to first. One down. That'll bring up Zdak up next, the junior left fielder for Northwestern. This Northwestern squad experienced, lots of upperclassmen on this roster. In fact, just 2 are underclassmen. First pitch to Zdak is over the plate for a strike. Towards the end of the lineup, it is Cady, who is a sophomore, and Nito, a freshman. Other than that, this top of the lineup, the first 5 batters, all seniors.
And Max, the first 4 batters for Northwestern have started every single game this season, all 40, and that's really incredible when you think about the longevity of a season and how they're able to stay healthy.
The 1-1 away from Zdak. 2-1 count now, and yeah, that's where you see exactly what you mentioned. Longevity and just consistency, that really pays off, and that's what really benefits a top 10 team like Northwestern. The 2-1 to Zdak. This one popped up into shallow left. Minnick gets under it in left field for out number 2 in the top of the second. Been impressed so far with Natalie Ford in the circle, drawing easy putouts for her outfield. And also, we've seen a few plays that go 6-3. First pitch to one of those underclassmen that we talked about, Hannah Cady.
And I know we mentioned it a little bit in the pregame, Max, but it's very difficult to face a pitcher that you don't have an extensive scouting report on. And I think we've seen Northwestern, they've been kind of guessing a little bit up there early. They don't know what's coming.
2-0 to Cady. She's got 5 home runs on the year, 27 runs batted in. 2-0. Away from Cady. Way ahead of the count now for Hannah Cady. The 3-0 over the plate for a strike. Natalie Ford trying to work back. Hannah Cady, though, has some room to work. Cady, a native of Clarkston, Michigan. And Natalie Ford in the circle has worked it all the way back to full.
Able to paint the corner on that last one. Here comes the 3-2.
And Natalie Ford, how about that? Working all the way back from 3-0 to get the strikeout and finish off the top of the second. 3 up, 3 down for Nat. Finished off her career last year and moved into a coaching role for the Hoosiers. Meanwhile, freshman Sarah Stone coming in to pinch hit at the 4 spot. Originally, that was going to be Brianna Copeland. Sarah Stone with an 0-1. Swings on that one. Looks like she fouled that off herself. She's got an 0-2 now. Really talented freshman in Sarah Stone. Number 17 in the recruiting class coming into this year. Started the year off at Kentucky. And takes that 0-2 inside. Brings the count to 1-2. But then Sarah Stone, halfway through the year, opted to make the move back to Indiana. The Bedford native takes the 1-2, now bringing it to 2-2. Decides to come back home and play for Indiana. Danielle Williams seeing more from her. Her second inning of work. 2-2 to Sarah Stone. Big swing and miss there. Danielle Williams gets strikeout number 2. That'll bring up Brittany Ford, the senior DP for Indiana. Swings at the first pitch. Williams drawing a lot more swings and misses early on in the bottom half of the second inning. The 0-1 to Ford, swung on and fouled back with 1 down here in the bottom of the second. Brittany Ford in the 2021 year worked mostly in her career as a pinch hitter. And now this year going from batting 200 to all the way up at 355 and 7 home runs. Already 6 more home runs than last year. She waits on the 0-2, brings it back to 1-2. I talked to her earlier this year just about her working up those ranks and just staying in it. She loves Indiana. When you talk to her, that becomes very clear. She's ready for the 1-2, takes it in the dirt. She just kind of waited her turn throughout her career. And now she's taking advantage and making the most of her opportunity.
And that's always something that coaches look for, somebody who believes in the program.
The 2-2 just inside. Williams and behind the plate. Rudd cannot get the call. And it's a full count now for Brittany Ford. Sun shining bright down on the field now, peeking through some holes in the clouds. The full count hit hard by Brittany Ford, and that will stay fair. Brittany Ford goes long and puts the Hoosiers on the board.
Home run number 8 of the year for Ford, and Indiana able to strike first.
Yeah, how about that timing, too? Talking about how she improved so much from last year to this year, and she just catches a big piece of that one, a power hitter on this lineup, and she shows it there, going long right in the corner, 190 down the lines here at Andy Moore, and she went all of that and more to put the Indiana Hoosiers up 1-0.
Just 8.
Now Lindsay Warwick coming up to bat for Indiana. fouls that one off. Warwick, 222 on the year. Another transfer on this roster. Transfer portal really helped out Indiana this year. Lindsey Warwick transferred from Mizzou. Waits on the 0-1, down low. Got a 1-1 count now, with one down here in the bottom of the second. That is home run number 10 given up by Williams on this year. Warwick fouls this one off straight into the netting in front of the Northwestern dugout.
And Max, early on, we've seen these Indiana hitters really work the count on Williams. We've seen a lot of 2-2 full counts. They're trying to find ways to stay alive and make her throw more pitches.
Warwick with a 1-2 count in the box. That one away from Warwick. Williams did get some work yesterday as well. Maybe a little bit more unexpected. She had to come in after the Hoosiers were doing quite well yesterday. The 2-2 to Warwick is down low and inside. Full count for Lindsay Warwick now as well. Again, Williams pitched the complete game on Friday and then pitched 4 innings yesterday to complete a comeback in extra innings for Northwestern. Warwick fouls this one back on the full count. The at-bat will continue here. But again, if anyone can do all that work and then come back in and continue to deal, be Danielle Williams. The full count, and Danielle Williams gets Lindsay Warwick. Kinsey Mitchell, lefty slapper as well for Indiana. Saw that to start things off with Skylar Schellmeyer. Go ahead, Garrett.
I was going to say Warwick, excuse me. Was the last hitter there.
Oh, 1 for Mitchell. Comes through for a strike. Two down here in the bottom of the second. Danielle Williams with the 0-2 on the way. Just away from Mitchell. 1-2 count now.
Kinsey Mitchell finds herself wedged in the lineup between a bunch of right-handed hitters. So she's at a bit of a disadvantage here facing Williams, but Indiana only with 3 lefties in the lineup.
Mitchell chops this one back, just got her foot out of the way. The at-bat will continue for Mitchell, a member of this Indiana freshman class for this year. Again, kind of opposite sides of the spectrum. Indiana with so many young players or new transfers. As Mitchell reaches on that one, it's another strikeout for Danielle Williams. And just finishing that thought, Northwestern with so much experience. And that's some of that experience is showing through there after Williams gives up the home run, comes back and gets 2 straight strikeouts to finish the second inning. We'll head to the top of the third. Supley hits this one to start things off in the top of the third, straight up the middle. And just like that, on the first pitch in the top of the third, Sydney Supley gets started for the Wildcats, and they will bring in a pinch runner here. Ayanna Lindsay coming in. Lindsay, a freshman for the Wildcats, coming in to pinch run. 8 stolen bases on the year, been caught 3 times. Gets down into her stance. At first, meanwhile, Grace Nito at the bottom of this lineup for Northwestern. Nito bunts this one back. And Lindsay on first, getting ready to take off. She'll have to hold. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third, or top of the third, excuse me.
And the true test for both of these pitchers, Max, is going to be how they fare in their second time going through the batting order.
So Nito with an 0-1 count, nobody out, runner on at first for the Wildcats here in the top of the third. A throw-out attempt gets away down the first base line, and Nito will take second. Just a throw-out attempt that got out of the, just kind of got out of the way of Juvia Davis, who was trying to come over and cover first. Ended up just sailing beyond Davis's reach. And so a runner in scoring position for the Wildcats. One count. Gets through for a strike on Nito. 1-2. Nito may have been trying to sneak in another bunt attempt there.
Indiana has 7 errors so far in the series, including 4 yesterday, as we see that throw get away from the catcher Warwick right there.
The 1-2 to Nito. Away for a ball, evening up the count at 2-2. Hoosiers dealt with a runner on at second in the first inning of the afternoon today. The 2-2 to Nito. This one fouled back once again, off the netting and back into Warwick's glove. At bat continues for Grace Nito. Again with her fellow freshman on the second base bag in scoring position for the Wildcats. Trying to tie it up after Brittany Ford sent one long in the bottom of the second. Another ball fouled back by Grace Nito. Really nice at-bat forming here for the freshman.
At the beginning of the at-bat, she was looking to bunt, but once she got to 2 strikes, she's been doing a good job of staying alive and waiting for the pitch she wants, just fouling away, being selective.
The 2-2 to Grace Nito. That one away, and Nito brings the count to full. And how about this, Garrett? Not just talented in softball, but also in hockey. She won a hockey state championship in high school in Michigan. She's from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Full count over the head, gets away, a wild pitch, and Nito will hold at first, and Lindsay advances to third. That one just sailing over the head of Lindsay Warwick.
It ended up going behind Nito as well, so Warwick really no chance to get that one.
A delayed steal play, trying to draw the throw from behind the plate. Skylar Schellmeyer takes the first pitch for a ball. Northwestern, again, a really nice start to this top of the third. The 1-0 to Schellmeyer. Outside the zone for another ball. 2-0 the count. Again, as I mentioned a few times earlier, the sun continues to peek in and out through the clouds. It's a really nice day and a fantastic crowd here at Andy Moore. Some folks lining up outside in left also. The 2-0 in for a strike on Schellmeyer. 2-1 the count. Haven't seen yet any sort of delayed steal attempts, as you mentioned, Garrett.
Indiana's ready for the slap here with their corners way in on the infield.
2-1 count. And there goes the runner, draws the throw, back home, and not in time. And there you go, just what you talked about, a straight steal this time around. So Nito will take second, and Lindsay sprints on home to tie the game up at 1. Really nice speed there from Lindsay, and that's, again, where it pays off to bring in the pinch runner. Sees the throw drawn to Benson out there at short, and Lindsay just takes off. Really no shot to get that throw back home. And Lindsay ties the game up. 3-1 in for a strike on Schellmeyer. Still nobody out, and now another runner in scoring position at second.
Yeah, it would have been nice to just see that throw go all the way through if you're Indiana to second base, because Lindsay got such a good jump that she had no chance of being out.
Full count. Schellmeyer knocks this one, and that will drop, and it's bobbled by Minnick. And Schellmeyer will advance to second on the throw. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Northwestern, and still nobody out. And here comes Rachel Lewis for Northwestern. This is quite the bind for Indiana and their senior pitcher, Natalie Ford. Really nice piece there by Schellmeyer. Just in shallow left. Taylor Minnick couldn't quite get there in time.
Heads up play by Schellmeyer to advance to second as well, after the throw from the outfield went to third.
Ball 1 to Rachel Lewis, and again, this is a very tough spot, especially with the hitter that leads the team in home runs with 18. Tied for the Big Ten lead with Billy Andrews. The 1-0, is popped up and fouled back. It'll go to 1-1 now. Lewis so far this year has separate home run streaks of 3 and 4 games this year. Fantastic hitter for Northwestern, and a great spot for her to come in for the Wildcats with 2 in scoring position. The 1-1 fouled back down the first baseline and into the netting. 1-2. This is where, if you're an Indiana fan, you really want Natalie Ford to show her grit and experience. Bring it through here, and I mean, if you're Northwestern and you're a fan of the Wildcats, just let Rachel Lewis do her stuff. And right there, Natalie Ford gets a called strikeout. Strike 3 for Natalie Ford on Rachel Lewis to get the first out in the top of the third. Behind the dish on defense today. First pitch to Rudd, down low for a ball. 2 runners still in scoring position for Northwestern. Rudd struck out last time she was up in the first. One of Natalie Ford's 3 strikeouts so far today. Score all knotted up at 1. Straight down the middle, Natalie Ford will make the toss home, and Warwick makes the tag at the plate. Tagging out Nito on her way home. Rudd will get to first, but 2 down, runners on the corners now here in the top of the third inning.
Good play by Warwick there to snag that one, as it looked like the throw got away from Ford a little bit. Warwick had to jump up, but she was able to secure the one-handed tag for the out to avoid a run.
Now this is another situation where you might have that steal play to draw the throw again. See if Indiana switches anything up in their coverage this time around with Maeve Nelson at the plate for the Wildcats. Drawing in the dirt and into her stance. Checks her swing there. Didn't go. 1-0 count. 2 down here in the top of the third. Runners on the corners for the number 10 team in the nation in Northwestern.
If the runner goes, I would expect to see Indiana throw all the way through to second, as there are 2 outs in the inning.
And Rudd only 1 stolen base on the year. It's pitched to Nelson. Through for another ball. So that may actually, with Rudd on at first, that may deter the Wildcats from running that steal play again, especially with 2 outs, not wanting to risk it with the score tied up at 1. This one hit hard to center field. Bassett giving chase, and it will drop. And 2 runs will score for Northwestern. Maeve Nelson, the senior shortstop, getting it all the way back to the wall in right center. And the Wildcats take a 3-1 lead with 2 outs here in the top of the third.
Nelson says no need for a trick play right there. I'll do it myself, and she one-hops that one off the wall for a 2 RBI double.
You're exactly right. Taking care of business there is Maeve Nelson. Now she stands at second, and this is, again, where you just see an experienced team. Doesn't matter the situation. They take care of business, bringing home 2 runners there on a double by Maeve Nelson to take the lead against Indiana here in the top of the third. Still 2 outs, but now a runner at second once again in Nelson. Nikki Cochran at the plate, pops this one up down the third base line. Benson giving chase, coming all the way over from her spot in short. And that will finish off the top of the third. Northwestern puts up 3 in the top half of this inning. We'll head to the bottom of the third and see how Indiana responds. Back in a moment on Big Ten Plus. Well, that will start with Juvia Davis here, the senior playing second baseman today. Fouls that one back to start things off in the bottom of the third with an 0-1 count.
That pitch looked like it was a bit in on the hands right there. Borderline strike, and Davis fouls it off.
So far this weekend, 2 at-bats in game 1, 2 strikeouts. She awaits the 0-1, fouls another one back down in an 0-2 hole. In game 2, 3 at-bats, 1 run, 1 walk. Much better showing in game 2 for Juvia Davis, the Montgomery, Illinois native, studying human biology here at Indiana. Playing in her last year. The 0-2 on the way from Williams, swung on, and that will get through. Strikeout number 5 for Danielle Williams. Fantastic execution for Williams. Now she paints the outside corner away from Benson for strike number 1 against the 9 spot for the Hoosiers. 0-1 count, 1 down here in the bottom of the third. Northwestern leads 3-1. Benson pops this one up to deep left center, and that will drop. Benson going for 2, and she's in for a 1-out double. Brooke Benson laying that one all the way back to the wall in left center. Again, we talked about Bassett at the start of this one. Watches that one come across for a strike, much to the dismay of some of the Indiana fans here at Andy Moore.
We've seen that outside pitch get called throughout the first few innings here.
The 0-1 comes outside. Rudd behind the plate waiting as Benson had trickled off of second by a few steps, then drifting back in. Bassett with a 1-1 count. Checks her swing there. And that one not getting the call is Williams. 2-1 count now.
I wouldn't say I was too surprised with that first strike call, as Brian Smith behind the plate has been pretty consistent today so far.
Very consistent, yeah. The 2-1 to Bassett. This one hit hard to left center. Back, and that will bounce off the wall there. Bassett holds at second, and Benson will hold at third. And Coach Stanton down there over at third is furious.
Yeah, Benson retreated to second. That ball looked like it was going to drop from the get-go as the center fielder turned around running it down, and Coach Stanton knows Benson should have scored on that one.
Volunteer coach, Gabby Jenkins, for that single-season double record. 1 down here in the bottom of the third. Called strike on Grayson Radcliffe with 1 down. 2 runners in scoring position for Indiana.
That was also Bassett's 8th double of Big Ten play, which broke a tie for the team lead with Minnick, who sits at 7.
The 0-1 to Radcliffe. That one getting the inside of the plate for a strike. 0-2 hole for Grayson Radcliffe.
Williams continuing to work the corners of the plate inside and out.
0-2 to Radcliffe. This one fouled down the third base line. And again, that base running mistake by Brooke Benson may come back to bite the Hoosiers, especially in what is now a very close game. 3-1, Northwestern out ahead. Of course, Hoosiers do still have only one out here on the bottom of the third, but with Williams, you want to take anything that you can get. The 0-2 outside and downstairs on Grayson Radcliffe. 1-2 count now. Bassett on at second and Benson at third.
Usually hits are few and far between when Williams is on the mound. Indiana able to get 4 so far.
The 1-2 hit hard down the first base line and drifting foul.
And that one would have tied things up right there if it was just a little bit to the left.
That one came zooming off the bat of Grayson Radcliffe. Another Hoosier on this team, actually another senior on this team, just like Natalie Ford, who has dealt with some injury issues this year. Worked her way back. Now she's got a 1-2 count here in the bottom of the third. And a strikeout number. This bottom of the third in strand 2. Called strike on Taylor Minnick, the left field freshman for Indiana, stepping into the box.
And Williams continuing to play mind games with the hitters on her 2-strike pitches. The ones we've seen before went inside and outside. That one right down the middle, and it froze Radcliffe.
Yeah, I believe you meant Minnick, but yes, it did. Taylor Minnick caught her. 0-2. Minnick reaches on this one. A race to first, and that one will drop, and 2 runners will score. The throw to first just a little bit high, and Taylor Minnick gets on and brings home 2 runners. Single by Minnick. Sarah Stone waiting in the box, holds on that one. 1-0. They didn't score it as an error right now, but have to wonder, again, if that throw is just a little bit lower. You would imagine it may not have happened, but who knows? The 1-0 to Sarah Stone, waits on that one again. And a strike call. One count for Sarah Stone, 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Minnick stands at first. Stone waits on that one, down low, 2-1 count.
Stone was able to put together a nice at-bat back in the second. Ended up striking out, but she worked a pretty deep count.
Stone waits on that one, 3-1 the count for Sarah Stone. Again, when she first came in the bottom of the second inning, as a pinch hitter in for Bree Copeland, and stayed at first. The 3-1 to Sarah Stone, not in the zone. That is the first walk by Danielle Williams today. But she does issue a walk there, and here comes Brittany Ford, who homered back in the second. Swings at that one. 0-1 count for her with 2 runners on for Indiana. Sarah Stone at first after she was walked, and Taylor Minnick at second. She brought home 2 runners to tie the game up at 3. Next offering from Williams. Gets away from Ford. 0-2 hole now.
That last pitch getting the outside corner.
0-2, Brittany Ford just touches that. It just basically slow rolls a few feet away from home. Middle of the lineup here, the 6th spot, Angela Zedak takes ball 1. Zedak flew out to left last time she was up, all the way back in the top of the second. Only scoring from Northwestern, again coming in the last top of the third. Pitch number 2 fouled straight back into the netting behind the plate. 1-1 count for Zdak. Wildcats put up 3 in the top of the third. Hoosiers, meanwhile, put up 1 in the bottom of the second on a long ball to right field. Got out of the park for Brittany Ford. The 1-1 lines straight to Juvia Davis, just a few feet to the left of first. Tosses it to her freshman Sarah Stone, and they get 1 out here now in the top of the fourth. Again, finishing that thought, the Hoosiers brought home 2 more in the bottom of the third inning. Did a nice job of responding to Northwestern's action in the top of the third to bring it even. I'll bring up Hannah Cady. Called first strike on her there. Struck out last time she was up in the second inning. The 0-1 down low. Evening up the count at 1-1. Natalie Ford so far, again, just that top half of the third inning where she allowed 3 runs to score. Other than that, just 1 walk issued. 3 strikeouts. Gets a called strike there on Cady. 1-2 hole for her. 1 down here in the top of the fourth. The 1-2. That one away from Cady, evening up the count at 2-2. It's beautiful weather out here at Andy Moore. Very comfortable 75 degrees at first pitch. 2-2 to Hannah Cady. This one popped up to center, and Mitchell making a dive, scoots right over the Indiana logo and makes the grab.
What a play there by Mitchell in center.
Native of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. 1-0 count for Supley.
That's always a fun one to say.
My dad grew up just near Oshkosh. 1-0. for Sydney Supley. Swings on that one, and 4 gets a strike.
And Max, it looks like that play that scored 2 for Indiana last inning was officially scored an error now.
Yeah. Another called strike for Natalie Ford, evening up the count at 2-2. Count even up, 2 down here in the top of the fourth. That one will touch the line, or excuse me, just drift a little bit to the right of the line. If it had touched the line, would have stayed fair. Called it just to the right. From our vantage point, of course, we don't have the best angle to make that call. Looked very close, but Sydney Supley will head back to the plate with a 2-2 count, 2 down here in the top of the fourth.
Ooh. Close one right there. Good take by Supley, especially with 2 strikes. As we get a look at the replay, just missed. Good frame job behind the plate by Warwick as well.
Full count, popped up down the third base line. Taylor Minnick giving chase, and another freshman out there in the outfield making a good play and reaching there. Getting out number 3 in the top of the fourth. 3 up, 3 down for Indiana. All knotted up at 3. Lindsay Warwick takes a ball for a strike there. 0-1. Warwick due up right now, or she's in the box, excuse me. Mitchell is due up, and then Juvia Davis. Oh, 1 is away from Warwick. 1-1 count to Lindsay Warwick from Danielle Williams. This one inside. 2-1 count now.
Warwick went down on strikes back in the second inning, but so far she's being patient early in this at bat, getting ahead 2-1.
Big swing there from Warwick, evening up the count at 2-2. And again, there has not been very much action, just 4 hits for both teams. And 3 runs. The 2-2 fouled off of Warwick. At bat will continue. Again, as we expected from Danielle Williams. Really nice outing so far from her. The 2-2 to Warwick. Not quite. Time called here. And now we're all set for the 2-2. The windup on the way from Williams. This one swung on by Warwick. That'll drop in very shallow left. And it's a single for Lindsay Warwick to start off the bottom of the 4th. First pitch to Mitchell, and that one threw for a strike. And just as he kind of laid it out there, Mitchell signals bunt there. And she'll do it again here, lays it down. Mitchell, the race to first, throw in time, but the sacrifice bunt successful by Kinsey Mitchell. And Tatum Hayes in scoring position now for Indiana.
This as well, just putting it right out in front of the plate, so there's no danger for the runner advancing to second, getting out. The only play Northwestern had was to go to first right there.
Yep, now a 1-0 count for Juvia Davis, who struck out in her last appearance in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-0 on the way. Davis pops this one up to right. A diving grab there from Lewis. And Hayes tags up and heads down to 3rd. Nice grab there in right field by Rachel Lewis. She can do it on the plate, and she can do it in the outfield on defense as well. Let's take a look at this one again. Davis just gets this one up in the air, and Lewis laying out. Some great diving grabs today from both teams. Mitchell in the top half of this inning. And now Rachel Lewis says, I want a piece of the fun as well. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Benson pops this one up and back into the netting. Foul. 0-1 count now for her. Again, with 2 down in the bottom of the 4th, Tatum Hayes stands just 60 feet away from giving the Hoosiers the lead. Meanwhile, Danielle Williams continues her nice outing. Benson waits on that one, evening up the count at 1-1.
Benson doubled in her last at bat back in the 3rd inning, and that really got the rally started for Indiana.
The 1-1 on the way. Got a piece of Benson's bat. Bring the count to 1-2. Again, Danielle Williams working, trying to keep Tatum Hayes at 3rd. Strander there. The 1-2. Line and foul. Down the first base line. Just barely again. So Tatum Hayes will retreat to 3rd. And Brooke Benson walks back to the box.
That one was also very close, right down the line.
The 1-2 on the way once again to Brooke Benson, and that got a piece of her. And now that brings up Cora Bassett. Ball game at 3 and 2 outs. First pitch, Bassett lines this one foul.
She got a good piece of that one. Fastball up and in.
Yeah.
Just early on it.
That one went all of probably about 200 feet. Just nowhere near fair. 0-1 to Bassett. That one away, evening up the count at 1-1, 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth. Indiana, again, as we mentioned earlier, needs to take what they can get from such a good team in Northwestern. The 1-1 away once again, 2-1.
Williams having to deal with some traffic on the bases these past couple innings, something that she's not accustomed to doing. Indiana has been very good with 2 outs.
Yep, and now Cora Bassett has a 3-1 count at the plate with runners on the corners. All knotted up at 3. The 3-1 from Williams. That one off the plate, and the bases are loaded. And here comes Michelle Gascoigne. Radcliffe waits and takes downstairs.
Williams hasn't been getting the call on those outside pitches like she was earlier in the game. Indiana's been adjusting well.
And this inning, just her second issued walk of the day. Williams has struck out Radcliffe twice. Gets a strike call there, 1-1.
She went to the off speed on 1-0, and you could tell Radcliffe thought about letting it rip, but she decided she'd wait for a better pitch.
Picking and choosing there at the plate is Grayson Radcliffe as she awaits the 1-1. There she goes on that one. But Williams, nice pitch to make it 1-2. Williams, this is a big moment coming up and a big pitch here. One just got by Radcliffe. She could retake control here with the 1-2 on the way. That one in the dirt. Stopped there by Rudd behind the plate. And it will continue at 2-2 now. Count all even up for Grayson Radcliffe.
Radcliffe's going to get a pitch to hit here as there's no room to put her on base here. Williams got to throw strikes.
The 2-2 swung on and missed. Danielle Williams strands 3. How about that?
She went to the drop again, and Radcliffe swinging right over it, just like she did earlier in the at-bat.
Welcome back in, folks, here to Andy Moore Field. Natalie Ford for Indiana, continuing her outing in the circle. Meanwhile, Grace Nito, the 9 spot for Northwestern, stepping into the box. Was walked in her only appearance so far today. It's like time called by Indiana. We're going to talk things over, make a switch in the outfield. On the way, this one chopped foul down the first base line, evening up the count at 1-1. One batter away are the Wildcats from turning over the card once again here. Just about finished the second time through their lineup. This time, Nito gets a good piece in just left of center. Nito will hold at first. Another leadoff hit for the Wildcats here in the top of the 5th inning.
We might be getting to the point of the game where Indiana tries to get something going in the bullpen. We could see Bassett re-enter in a different position if they need to warm somebody up, perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like down in the bullpen for Indiana, Macy Montgomery warming up. Meanwhile, in the box, they do turn over the card, and Skylar Shellmeyer coming in for the Wildcats with one on at first. Shellmeyer slaps this one to the shortstop, and the throw over to first. A great toss and stretch from Stone, but even better speed there from Shellmeyer to beat the opposite side of the field throw. And 2 on now to start the top of the 5th inning.
That one had some backspin on it, and it was sending Benson too deep into the 6-hole to be able to make a play on that, and really no shot at first.
That'll bring up Rachel Lewis. Ball in the dirt there, and the runner from first goes. Oh, and that just got away from Sarah Stone. A big mistake. And Hoosiers call time. Man, a big mistake from Northwestern. They get lucky there and get a even bigger mistake there from Indiana. Looks like heading to first, Shellmeyer had no idea that Nito was heading back, and Warwick just tossed it over to first to try and get her. But instead, the throw gets away, and both runners end up advancing.
Stone got caught in an awkward position where she was trying to get back to the bag, and she was running while trying to reach out and catch the ball, and it just got past her. And we've talked about how Indiana, the errors have really been hurting them. And now with nobody out, there's runners on second and third. And Rachel Lewis, the last person Indiana wants to see at the plate in this situation.
You're exactly right. With 2 runners in scoring position, a 2-1 count to Lewis. This one lined down the third base line.
Looks like they called it a foul ball.
Yeah.
Kind of a delayed call, but good diving stop made by Radcliffe.
Yeah, nice play there by Radcliffe to keep her body on the line there. The 2-2 to Lewis. This one popped up foul and back into the netting. 2 runners on for Northwestern. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th. 2-2 count for Rachel Lewis at the plate.
That one looked like it was coming straight towards us up here.
2-2. And let's see what the call is. Rachel Lewis did not go, says third base umpire Anthony Williams. And a full count now for Rachel Lewis. Wow, really good composure to hold back on that one.
And much to the dismay of the Indiana crowd, it looks like she was able to hold herself on that one.
The full count. This one hit hard to left and gone. Rachel Lewis. A 3-run shot to left, and Rachel Lewis takes sole possession now of the Big Ten lead in home runs.
It's her 19th of the season, Max, as you see there, and she is on a heck of a run. And this Northwestern team with Lewis hitting and Williams on the mound, they're just too dangerous. Nobody wants to play these guys right now.
Rachel Lewis coming up big there. And just like that, the Wildcats, a 6-3 lead on a big home run from Rachel Lewis. It gives her, again, possession there of the Big Ten lead in home runs with 19. Now the Hoosiers, if they want to stay in this one, they've got to bounce back here, especially with no outs. 1-0 count to Rudd. 2-0 to Rudd at the plate. This one gets the inside edge for a strike. 2-1 now. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th. Man, how about that? Big moment there. As we've seen so much this year. This one, a bouncer to short, throw over to first. There's one down in the top of the 5th now. But as I was saying, as we've seen throughout Rachel Lewis's career, now a graduate student. She's Northwestern's all-time leader in career home runs. Adds to her total there. And now Maeve Nelson up to bat after the Hoosiers get the first out. Strike 1 to Maeve Nelson. One down here in the top of the 5th. And the Wildcats head out to take a 6-3 lead. The 0-1. Another called strike there on Maeve Nelson, 0-2.
Nelson had the 2 RBI double her last at bat that put Northwestern up 3-1. Indiana was able to tie it, but that tie recently undone by Rachel Lewis's 19th bomb of the season.
And she got a big piece of that too. The 0-2 to Maeve Nelson. Just outside. 1-2 now. Natalie Ford in the circle, trying to bounce back for Indiana. Keep things close. Getting into the heart of this Wildcat lineup. The 1-2. This one inside. 2-2 now. One down here in the top of the 5th. This one line to short again. The throw over to first. Same play for out number 2.
Brooke Benson's been very active today over there at shortstop, getting lots of ground balls.
Yes, she has. Getting her fair share of running in there over at short. Looks like Brianna Copeland getting some warm-up time for Indiana in their bullpen. Saw Macy Montgomery a little bit earlier, now Copeland. But in the box, Nikki Cochran takes the first pitch for a strike. 2 down here in the top of the 5th. The 0-1. This one downstairs, 1-1. Due up in the bottom of this inning, it will be Taylor Minnick, Sarah Stone, and Brittany Ford. The 1-1 to Cochran. Away, 2-1 to count. Northwestern next will be in action against UIC. As Cochran brings it to 3-1. It's a midweek game on Tuesday. It's a home game for the Wildcats. Meanwhile, Indiana will welcome in Purdue for a doubleheader. The 3-1 fouled down the third base line, and that will land squarely in the Northwestern bullpen. Full count for Natalie Ford to Nikki Cochran.
It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Stanton chooses to do here if Cochran reaches. Is she going to leave Ford in to try to finish the inning or bring in Copeland?
We'll find out. The 3-2 straight to short again. The throw to first, and all 3 outs of this inning. 6-3. Brooke Benson to Sarah Stone. In that last half in the bottom of the 4th. This pitch from Williams gets right by Minnick's feet. Taylor Minnick in the box for the Hoosiers. Again, Danielle Williams doing a really nice job at the bottom of the fourth, not allowing anything from Indiana, even with the bases loaded. She escapes that with a strikeout. And now in the top of the fifth, or previously in the top of the fifth, as Minnick takes another ball. 3-0 count for her. Top of this inning, Northwestern put up 3 more runs to take the lead, 6-3. So just like that, a big swing there after Williams strands 3 on the bases. The Wildcats take a 3-run lead in the next half inning. Now at the plate here in the bottom of the fifth, Minnick at the plate with a 3-1 count. Nobody out here in the bottom of this inning. Hoosiers down by 3. The 3-1 to Minnick in the dirt. She will take first on walk number 3 of the afternoon for Williams.
For the second inning in a row, Indiana able to get their leadoff hitter on for the Wildcats.
Strike inside on Sarah Stone. A 1 count now with Minnick on at first. Minnick, 5 stolen bases this year. She'll get down in her stance at first. Williams dealing to Stone. The 0-1 just outside, 1-1. Wind shifting a little bit here. Before it was blowing center or left to right. Now it's more center or right to left. Just by a touch. The 1-1 to Sarah Stone. On the way down low. 2-1 now. Nobody out in the bottom of the fifth. Brittany Ford due up. She already has a home run today. The 2-1 to Sarah Stone. That one pretty down the middle, but couldn't quite get the zone. So a 3-1 count now for Sarah Stone. Similar situation as Taylor Minnick. That one downstairs again. 2 straight walks for Danielle Williams. And now Brittany Ford coming into the box. And with a lineup change for Indiana, bringing in a pinch runner in Brianna Copeland to run the bag at first. Hoosiers trying to respond after Wildcats put up 3 in the top half of this inning. First pitch to Ford, away for a ball, 1-0. Now, Garrett, how long of a leash do you give Danielle Williams? Again, such a stellar pitcher for the Wildcats. The 1-0 on the way. Ford waits, now 2-0.
And I think as long as you have the lead, if you're Northwestern, you got to leave her in the game. I think she's earned the right to stay in until things start to go south, no question. But it is a tough decision, and it can come back to bite you at times.
2-0, Ford lines straight to the second baseman, and Copeland left first, and a double play.
And that decision just got a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it sure did. Flips a little bit. You go from having 2 on, nobody out, to having 1 on, 2 out. Can change so fast. And a nice play there by Nito at second to make the grab and the force out. 1-1 now for Lindsay Warwick.
Warwick singled back in the 4th inning.
And Williams gets a piece of Warwick. So she'll take first. First pitch on the way is low and away.
Laura Slung has 1 home run this season, and Indiana would love for her to hit her second here right now with 2 outs.
Yeah, meanwhile, Danielle Williams not giving them any room. The 1-0 inside. Catches that inside line of the plate, though, for a strike. 1-1. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 on for Indiana. The 1-1 swung on, and in the dirt was that pitch. 1-2.
So far, Jordan Rudd has smothered every ball in the dirt.
Yeah.
So far today, she's done a great job at holding the runners where they start.
The 1-2, low and away to Lorsung, evens up the count at 2-2 now. Danielle Williams trying to get out of another situation with runners on. Lorsung, meanwhile, holds, and that will bring the count to full with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. 2 runners on again for Indiana. Last time in the bottom of the 4th, the Hoosiers loaded the bases. Williams able to get out of that. This one down in the dirt. Runners advance on the walk, and the bases once again loaded, just as I mentioned that, Garrett. Juvia Davis into the box with the bases loaded. Big swing at that one from Davis. Hitting 143 this year.
And Indiana finds themselves in the exact position they were in last inning. They were unable to score last time. They're trying to turn the script here.
Yeah, this would be quite the response from Danielle Williams. She could do it twice in a row. 1-1 count for Davis at the plate. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Bases loaded. Brooke Benson due up next. The 1-1 on the way. Davis hits this one, pops it up, but the left fielder, Zidak, gets the read on it. And once again, Northwestern and Danielle Williams strand 3 on the bases.
Abby?
We'll always bringing in some extra notes down there on the side. Angela Zidak coming into the box for the Wildcats. Again, as Abby mentioned, trying to extend their lead here. They lead by 3 right now, as Natalie Ford continues in the circle in her first start of the year for the Hoosiers. 1-0 swung on and fouled down the third base line. Just a little defensive shift as well after Copeland was brought in to pinch run for Sarah Stone. She re-enters to first. She started the game there. The 1-1 called strike on Zidak. The 1-2. This one fouled back into the netting once again. Cantwell stay at 1-2. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th.
Natalie Ford's put in a pretty solid outing today into her 6th inning of work. I know the numbers don't show it, but she's looked pretty good out there.
She has.
Just down on the scoreboard, unfortunately, for Indiana.
1-2 down low. And again, as you mentioned, this is the most that Natalie Ford has gone in a game.
She's gone
this
more
year.
today than she has all season.
Yeah. 2-2. Ford to Zidak. This one popped up to center. Kinsey Mitchell chasing and is there for the grab. 1 down in the top of the 6th. That'll bring up Cady. Anna Cady coming back in. 0-for-2 on the day. Struck out in her first appearance and lined out in the 4th. The Wildcats lead 6-3 right now in the top of the 6th inning. 1 down. First pitch to Cady. This one hard hit to right and gone. How about that? Hannah Cady wasting no time at the plate and leaving no doubt about that, launching it over the fence in right.
Cady picks up number 6 on the year right there, and really she didn't try to do too much with it, just pulled it down the line, and Andy Moorefield was not going to hold that one.
Hannah Cady just getting all of that ball. As Sydney Supley coming in. Now a 7-3 lead for Northwestern. Supley fouls it back. Still one down here in the top of the 6th. As Northwestern still working to extend their lead. Supley had a single in the 3rd inning. And flew out in the 4th. 0-1 count for her at the plate. She gets a good piece of this one to left, but Minnick stays under it. And Supley flies out. 2 down here in the top of the 6th now. Got a good piece of that one. Basically, exact opposite of what Cady did, just a batter before, and just a little bit more short.
And we've seen Nito put together some quality at-bats here today. She's 1 for 1 currently, so this will be a tough out for 4.
She gets the first strike on Grace Nito. And Nito drew a walk in the 3rd. A single in the 5th. Trying to turn the card over again. See what she can do at the plate with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Again, Northwestern leading over the Hoosiers 7-3 right now. 1-1 count for Nito at the plate. Powers this one foul and up into the netting.
Lots of action here at the ballpark today as there's 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. 2-2 pitch with 2 outs upcoming here.
Wildcats trying to extend the inning here. And as you mentioned, you're at 2-2 at the plate. Wind up on the way, and this one hard hit, a roller to Juvia Davis in the right side. Davis covers, gives to first. That will end the top of the 6th. Not before Cady goes long for the Wildcats and increases their lead 7-3. We'll be back in a moment for the bottom of the 6th inning on Big Ten Plus. Trying to go for her 2nd complete game this weekend.
And that one hit Benson again. They're going to say she leaned into it, it looks like. She wore one off the elbow guard in her last at-bat, Max, and it looked like she tried to do it again.
Brooke Benson. Neil Williams walks back into the circle ready to deliver. On the way, Benson lines this one down the 3rd base line and foul. Almost had yet another hit batsman in the tally for the weekend.
She got hit, but it just won't go down on the stat sheet. That would have been the 2nd time Benson got hit today as well.
0-2. Benson, big swing there and strikeout. No? Are they saying she got a piece of that?
I think there was some confusion on the count. It looked like the umpire said that it was 1-1 before the pitch, because even if she got a piece of it, the catcher caught the ball.
All right, well, now we'll head to 1-2 instead. Not strikeout number 8.
So it looks like
2-2 count.
I believe the first pitch that she got hit by was neither a strike or a ball. It was just a dead ball, so there was no pitch on that. Maybe that's where the confusion was.
Benson lines this one to third. The throw over to first in time. And so one down. I think you're exactly right. Down 4. Bassett waits. Pitch just upstairs. 1-0. Bassett has been on every time she's come up today. Single, double, and a walk. Fouls this one back.
In her last at bat, Bassett hit a monster foul ball down the left field line that nearly went over the fence that's a few feet, well, more than a few, quite a few feet behind the outfield wall. She would have been on cycle watch if that would have been fair. Single and a double today.
The 1-1 to Bassett. This one line foul right by Coach Stanton there. She steps back into the circle and delivers the 1-2. Foul back again by Bassett. It will stay 1-2. Wind blowing pretty hard right now towards left field. There's a bird up in the sky just to the right of Andy Moore, just trying to hold on to his position in the air. Meanwhile, back on the field, a 1-2 count for Bassett. And Williams, there's strikeout number 8. Paints the inside. And Williams gets Cora Bassett looking. Called for strike on Radcliffe.
Radcliffe with 3 strikeouts so far today, so she'll look to turn the script here and try to avoid that ghastly 4th.
Radcliffe fouls this one into the netting down the first base line. 0-2 hole for her. Radcliffe hitting .276. This one just a bit down low. 1-2 now for Grayson Radcliffe. Danielle Williams approaching double-digit strikeouts. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning at Andy Moore. The 1-2 to Radcliffe. Waits on that one. Evens the count at 2-2. Northwestern up 7-3. The 2-2 to Radcliffe. This one in the dirt, bounces behind the catcher Rudd. Nobody's on, so no damage done. Full count, though. Nice job working back to that for Grayson Radcliffe. Five hits so far, given up by Danielle Williams. 5 walks issued, 8 strikeouts. The full count right down the middle, but maybe just a bit off to the right. Height-wise. Strike to Taylor Minnick with Radcliffe on at first. 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Indiana down 4. Minnick trying to continue or start a 2-out rally. 0-1 to Minnick. Down low, 1-1.
And Max, Danielle Williams in 20 starts this season, not counting today, has 16 complete games, and it looks like she's going to try for number 17 here today. She wants to go the distance.
Yeah, no more action in that Northwestern bullpen. The 1-1 to Minnick. This one struck by her over to left center. And the grab is made. That will end the bottom of the 6th. So we'll head to the top of the 7th. The Wild starts with Skylar Schellmeyer here in the top of the 7th. Schellmeyer takes a hack at this one, and that will drop right towards the line in left. The throw gets away, and Schellmeyer's rounding second. The throw over to third. First pitch, this time to Lewis. Rachel Lewis had a 3-run homer in the 5th. That was number 19 to give her the lead in the Big Ten in home runs. 1-0 to Lewis. This a bouncer too short, bobbled by Benson. Gets through her glove, a run will score, and Lewis will hold at first with an RBI single.
Looks like that one took a high hop right when Benson was about to corral it. She was down, ready for the low ball, and then just bounced off and hit off the heel of her glove right there and rolled into center. Fortunately for Indiana, the runner remained at first.
Damage is done, though, with one more coming home. Now the total up to 8. 8-3 the score. This one hit hard by Rudd to left, but Minnick over there to make the grab, and Lewis returns to first. One down now. Here in the top of the 7th. First pitch to Maeve Nelson, fouled back and over the netting. Onto the concourse here at Andy Moore.
Somebody's going to get some free candy if they can claim that ball and bring it back. Something they do here at Andy Moore Field.
0-1 to Nelson. Admission is free here in Andy Moore. And a big crowd took advantage of that today. 2 guests, youth softball teams for Indiana that got to meet with the team earlier today. Indiana Impact and the Gators here as well. This one fouled off down the first base line and again over the netting by Maeve Nelson. 0-2 for her with one down in the top of the 7th. Rachel Lewis on at first for the Wildcats. The 0-2 just away. 1-2 now. Wildcats getting close to finishing off the sweep this weekend. 1-2 on the way from 4 down low. 2-2. Hoosiers' last-ditch efforts will start with Brianna Copeland, Brittany Ford, and Lindsay Warwick all due up for the bottom of the 7th. Got to finish off the top half of this inning first, though. Two-two, a check swing from Nelson. Check down to first. Elizabeth Hammerschmidt says Nelson did not go. Full count now. For the Wildcats, just got to continue to extend this inning, pad the lead, and put even more pressure on the Hoosiers in the bottom of the 7th. A bouncer straight to 4. 4 goes to second, runner safe, throw late to first. And now 2 on. They get nobody.
A mental mistake made there by 4 is really she had no time to get that out at second base, and both the runners end up being safe.
Yeah, I mean, things just kind of unraveling here for Indiana, and that's just what happens when a really, really strong team has just had success against you all weekend. You have a close one yesterday that gets away from you in extras if you're Indiana. Cochran didn't go, so it'll be a ball. And just this stellar top 10 team in Northwestern continuing to lay it on Indiana. And I think that's where some of the mental fatigue comes into play. The 1-0 to Cochran, away, 2-0.
As you mentioned, talking about last night's game, Max, the game time was about 3 hours and 18 minutes, so players probably didn't get back home until about 10, maybe even later than that, and then a 1 o'clock game today, but Northwestern showing that it didn't quite affect them.
Cochran driving this one to center. That will drop. Mitchell runs into the wall. 2 will score. Cochran going for third. A stand-up triple. 2 RBI. And Northwestern continuing to increase the lead. Cochran gets a triple today.
That's her second of the season as well.
So Cochran, after going 0 for 3, brings in a triple, and that's where Natalie Ford's day will end in the circle. They'll bring in Macy Montgomery with Northwestern up 9-3. Wildcats extending their lead to 10-3 here in the top half of this inning. This one, a liner straight up the middle. That'll score one more. A single for Angela Zedak that brings home another runner. And again, Garrett, I mean, the Wildcats really just piling it all on here in the top of the 7th, taking advantage of some mental mistakes and also just flat-out mistakes on the field from Indiana. And laying it on, doing what a top 10 team does. And now a liner straight to first. Double play potential, and no, the runner's safe at second.
That was a great play by Copeland to touch the bag and then throw to second. It looked like the runner was beat, but the tag was applied late. Thus safe being the call. As we get a look at the replay here, Copeland scoops it up and touches first quickly. Then trying to throw to second, unable to get the lead runner there, so now there will be 2 away with Supley stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, couldn't quite get a good view of that one, but I mean, just from watching it in real time, it was awfully close. Copeland does get 1 though at first, so Hoosiers 1 out closer to getting out of this top of the 7th. Supley takes a strike from Montgomery. Would imagine that was some frustration from the Indiana dugout that caused the hold by Brian Smith behind the plate. Next pitch is way upstairs from Montgomery. 1-1 count. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Wildcats already adding 4. The 1-1 to Supley, a liner to first. Copeland gets it in the glove and steps on the bag to finally finish off the top of the 7th for the Hoosiers. If you're the Wildcats, that was a lot of fun though. They add 4 more to their total, making it 11-3. And we'll head to the bottom of the 7th in a moment and complete the sweep of the series. Abby Meeks into the box, with her Hoosiers down 11-3 here in the bottom half of the 7th.
Yeah, Max, it's been a rough go for Indiana this whole weekend. They've been in a couple of these games, including yesterday and today. They had their chances to win yesterday, and today they just let an early lead get away from them.
Abby Meeks fouls it off to bring the count 0-2. Nobody out so far. Meeks coming into pinch hit in the 4 slot for Brianna Copeland. 0-2. Meeks waits on that one. 1-2 the count now. 1-2 for Meeks. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 9 for Danielle Williams. Just a fantastic outing today for her, Garrett.
She's been incredible all year and kept it up today.
First pitch to Brittany Ford, high for a ball. Ford is 1 for 3 on the day. Last time she was up, she lined out in the 5th. She had a homer in the 2nd, her first time up. 1-0, popped up by Ford. Giving chase is Nito, and she makes the grab. 2 down now. Lindsay Warwick, the last gasp of air for Indiana. 2 down here in the bottom half of the 7th. Another hit batter. Lindsay Warwick on, and Kinsey Mitchell coming up to bat. Right now in this homestand. First pitch to Mitchell, fouled down the first base line. Again, on this long homestand so far, they lost to Notre Dame that was close. That one went into extras. Then the Hoosiers dropped one to Louisiana. And what is looking like is going to be 3 straight to Northwestern. Meanwhile, the Wildcats having a successful run, barring one loss to Illinois on the 20th of April. Other than that, a series sweep at Ohio State. That's a good series because that Ohio State squad is a good team. Mitchell slaps this one up, and the grab in the glove by Nito, and that will wrap things up. And that is out number 3. Northwestern takes the win here in Bloomington and also takes the sweep